What's up guys, this is ZonalFear bringing you a gameplay commentary video of Homefront. What I want to talk about today is something entirely different from Homefront though, and something that I should have sat down a long time ago and actually done. And what I want to do is, for lack of a better sort of term or anything else like that, is introduce myself to the YouTube gaming community. I spent just over 2 years on YouTube sort of uploading random gameplay videos with the odd commentary thrown in here and there, but I've never actually sat down and sort of spoke about what I am all about. So what I want to do in this video is cover that, go into a little bit of detail about myself, where I started gaming and where I hope to go with my YouTube channel. So let's go from the very start. I started originally gaming many years ago, back when the Super Nintendo and the Mega Drive was still hip, and I've kind of never looked back from gaming since. I've played all the Super Nintendo games like Secret of Mana, Super Mario Brothers, and onto the Mega Drive, all the Sonics of course, and then numerous other platform games, for most of which I can't care to remember the names. I then moved on to the Sega Saturn. Yes, I was one of the poor souls that bought one of them, so please do spare a thought for me. However, I had a lot of fun with my Sega Saturn, and there were some excellent games that were released for the console, and they were really sort of underrated. I really enjoyed the Panzer Dragoon series. I also enjoyed Burning Rangers, which unfortunately not a lot of people really got to play because it just didn't sell that well. It was more of a game that was released into the end of the Saturn's life. However, I did enjoy my Saturn, and I begrudgingly bought a PlayStation not too long after the Sega Saturn's early demise. Then I moved on to games like Metal Gear Solid and things like that, and most of it was console gaming. I spent a lot of my earlier years gaming on a console. It wasn't until around sort of PlanetSide's release that I really sort of got into PC gaming really big time. And when I say big time, I mean the whole works. The original PlanetSide, Battlefield 1942, and also the Desert Combat mod, Command & Conquer General Zero Hour, which was a huge favourite game of mine, and I really got into all of them games, and that's when PC gaming really became sort of like my top priority. I spent quite a few years playing these games non-stop, and then it reached about sort of 2005-ish, and I kind of went off gaming altogether. I did also enjoy the occasional dab on the original Xbox for games like Halo and Halo 2, and also Project Gotham Racing, which I thoroughly enjoyed as a sort of spiritual successor to Metropolis Street Racer. So I really did enjoy these games, but it reached sort of like 2005 and I kind of got really jaded with gaming in general, and for a long time I didn't actually do anything in terms of gaming. So it reached that stage, and for years I didn't really play anything. And then the Xbox 360 came and went, the launch of it came and went, and I decided that I might try a couple of things out. So I bought the original Gears of War for the Xbox with my Xbox, and I really enjoyed it. And that game kind of reignited my passion for video games. So it was at that point that I started getting back into gaming really big time. I also had a PC at about the same time that wasn't fantastic, but it could play some of the sort of like more lower end graphical games, as it was a old Intel Pentium dual core and an 8800 GT. So while the graphics card was good, my processor was absolutely terrible. So for a long time I spent a lot of my PC gaming as of a few years ago on a pretty appalling machine, so I didn't play as much PC games as I'd like to have done. And then it came towards the whole sort of fanfare towards Battlefield 3's release, and I really thought to myself, actually I kind of want to get back into PC gaming. I spent a long time playing on consoles, but I know that I really enjoyed playing on the PC. I put an insane amount of hours into the original PlanetSide, and I thought that I really wanted to sort of do that again, find a game that could capture me and sort of like really appeal to my enthusiasm for all things gaming. So at that point I decided to build myself a proper gaming PC. I researched all my components and everything else like that. I already had quite a few games from Steam sales previously, but never had a good enough rig to play them. I picked them up on the off chance that I might actually upgrade my rig in future, and lo and behold I did eventually sort of upgrade my PC. to something that was a hell of a lot quicker, and which I'm still using to this very day. As we all know, Battlefield 3 kind of came and went. A lot of you guys have subscribed to me for my Battlefield content, and for those of you that are still around waiting for Battlefield content, my sincerest apologies. I know that I've not been uploading as much Battlefield content as many of you would like to see. However, aside from Bad Company 2, I'm not really playing an awful lot of Battlefield at the moment at all. And Bad Company 2 is more of a sort of when the mood takes me rather than a regular sort of daily thing. While I absolutely love Battlefield Bad Company 2, I find that I don't have as much enthusiasm to play it as I once did. And Battlefield 3 really sort of didn't appeal to me an awful lot at all. While graphically it is absolutely stunning and the gameplay isn't terrible, one of the things that really bugs me about Battlefield 3 is that blue filter on every single map. It is infuriating, and it's that single thing that has really sort of ground my gears. And as you see it all the time that you're playing it, it's one of them niggling things that will never go. So for me, that's why you're not seeing an awful lot of Battlefield 3 footage. I have moved on to the fantastic PlanetSide 2, and I have not got enough good things to say about that game. There are a lot of improvements that need to be made to the game to make it truly excellent. But the fantastic thing about it is that Sony Online Entertainment are listening to what their fans are saying, and it's a real refreshing change to actually see a company listen to their dedicated player base as much as Sony have to this point. So I'm really expecting big things from PlanetSide 2, and I hope that Sony can carry on with the momentum that they've built in terms of supporting the player base that are very dedicated towards PlanetSide 2, and it can also improve some things that I've mentioned in previous videos about the general performance of the game right now, which is it's lackluster basically, especially on AMD based PCs, which seem to take a real pounding. But I'm hopeful that Sony are going to fix them performance issues with the game, and also the other minor issues that the game has that would make it infinitely better. Thankfully Sony are listening to what people are saying, and I'm really hopeful for positive changes for PlanetSide 2 in the future. So let's talk about where I want to go with YouTube. I am absolutely flattered that 178 people find my content good enough to actually subscribe to it. I am genuinely thankful for all you guys that have taken the time out to subscribe to me, to comment on my videos and things like that. As you may have noticed from other commentaries, I'm not the world's most confident speaker. I do sort of linger quite a lot on some things that I need to say before I actually say them, but what I don't quite make up for in confidence, I think that I make up for in what I actually have to say when I do eventually get it out. So sometimes you might have to bear with me a little while, but I do sort of intend on focusing on trying to sound a little bit more confident when I do my commentaries as well, you know, with conviction rather than how I currently sound. It's a learning process for me as well as anything else, because this is kind of like the first time I've really started doing commentaries like this. I have done a few commentaries in the past, and believe it or not, generally I'm not satisfied with what I have put out. I've got a lot of good feedback from you guys, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and if it's not perfect, I'm generally not happy with it. It gets to a point where I think this is the best that I am going to get it, and I will sort of upload it and things like that, but I'm never actually happy with any of my commentaries, including this one most likely. I probably won't be happy with this one when I sort of sit down and listen to it before actually going to render it and things like that. However, I'm sure that you guys like what I do, even if I don't like what I do. In terms of where I want to go for the future, I don't dream of, you know, having like 1 million subscribers who all bow down to me the second they see my name. And I'm not in this for sort of like the money or the fame or anything else like that. I enjoy making videos about video games. Video games is a very passionate hobby of mine, and if some people who watch my videos get enjoyment out of what I have to say and what I do too, then as far as I'm concerned, that is my job fulfilled. I'm quite content with that. I've recently been approached by a network partner, and I don't think that I'm going to take anything like that at this time. I'd rather focus on the quality and content of my videos. distract and sort of be saddled down a little bit by the pressure of having to perform and things like that. With that said, if anything like that came in the future where I felt a lot more confident about it, it's probably something that I wouldn't knock back. But it's not the primary focus of me uploading to YouTube. My primary focus on me uploading to YouTube is to entertain you guys, and hopefully so you guys can get the same enjoyment out of video games and the same sort of discussion points, share the same ideas about games that I actually have. So that, sort of going into YouTube for me isn't for the fame or the money or the partnership or anything else like that. I do this purely for your guys' entertainment, and that's the way it's going to continue to be. So, kind of winding up a little bit because I realise I'm dragging a little bit here, and my apologies for that. I just wanted to sit down and make a video that I felt kind of explained what I'm doing and where I come from, for lack of a better word, better phrase, and things like that. For the foreseeable future, I'm going to be playing Planet Side 2, and also I'm going to be playing a few newer games that are coming out this year, including Dead Space 3 and Crysis 3. So there's still going to be plenty of content out for me. I've still got loads planned for you guys, and again I want to thank you for all of the people that have taken the time out to subscribe to me and things like that. It really is quite humbling that so many of you guys feel that I'm worth subscribing to. So again, my thanks for that. I'd also like to extend my thanks to Shaz1874, who has been a very keen supporter of both me and my channel. Without him, a lot of you guys wouldn't be here, and I'm also very grateful for him for his sort of like guidance for my time on YouTube. So again, I'd like to thank Shaz1874 for actually helping me out with YouTube, both in terms of kind of getting a few more guys on board, and also for the advice that he's given me so far regarding YouTube. Anyway guys, I'm going to leave it here. It was a pleasure. I do hope you guys have enjoyed what I've had to say. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comments. Also let me know what you'd like to see more of. I'm quite open-minded. I'm not just an FPS junkie. I do enjoy a broad variety of games. So please do let me know what you want to see, and I'll see how I can accommodate that in the future. So until next time guys, take care.